They say trust is the foundation of any relationship. But what happens when that trust is shattered beyond repair? What happens when the people closest to you, the ones you love, the ones you trust the most, are the very ones who betray you? In a quiet town, a shocking affair tore a family apart. A wife's secret, a father's unforgivable betrayal, and a violent confrontation that ended in tragedy. Tonight, we uncover the true story of how one man's perfect life collapsed in an instant, and how his discovery of a forbidden affair led to an unthinkable crime. Meet Daniel and Sarah Miller. By all appearances, they had a picture-perfect life. Married for 8 years, with 2 beautiful children, they lived in a quiet neighborhood in Texas. Daniel was a hard-working man, running a small but successful business, while Sarah was a devoted mother and homemaker. To their friends and neighbors, they were the definition of a loving couple. But behind the scenes, something was very wrong. Sarah had grown distant. Her laughter no longer seemed genuine. She started spending more time away from home, giving vague excuses that didn't quite add up. Daniel, like any husband, felt something was off, but he dismissed his concerns, convincing himself that it was just stress, just a rough patch in their marriage. After all, Sarah loved him, right? But what Daniel didn't know was that his wife was hiding the ultimate betrayal. She wasn't just seeing another man, she was having an affair with someone he trusted more than anyone else, his own father. James Miller was a charismatic and well-liked man. At 58, he had built a successful career and had a reputation for being wise and dependable. He was someone people admired, but behind closed doors, he was living a double life. The affair had been going on 4 months. It started with innocent conversations, talks about marriage struggles, venting frustrations. But soon, it escalated into something much darker. Secret meetings, late-night rendezvous, and a growing obsession that neither of them could walk away from. They thought they were careful, but secrets have a way of coming to light, and in this case, the truth was about to explode in the worst way imaginable. Daniel might have ignored the signs, but one mistake changed everything. One day, while reviewing their credit card statements, he noticed unfamiliar charges: a hotel room, an expensive dinner, things Sarah had no explanation for. His heart pounded as he scrolled through her phone, his hands shaking. And then, he found the messages, hundreds of them, explicit, intimate, and undeniable. At first, he couldn't believe it. He read the name over and over, hoping it was a mistake. But there it was, James, his own father. A mix of emotions flooded his mind: anger, betrayal, disbelief. How could his father, the man who raised him, do this to him? And how could Sarah betray him in the most unimaginable way? That night, Daniel made a decision. He needed answers. He needed to confront them, and he needed to do it face to face. That night, Daniel drove to his parents' house. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. But he was consumed by one thing: rage. When he arrived, he didn't knock. He barged in. And there they were, James and Sarah, together. The house erupted in screams. Accusations flew. Years of trust shattered in an instant. And then, in a moment of pure, uncontrollable fury, everything changed. By the time the neighbors heard the commotion and called the police, it was too late. The betrayal had ended in bloodshed. When the police arrived, the scene was grim. James was dead. Sarah, in shock, sobbed uncontrollably, and Daniel just sat there, staring at the floor. His life forever changed. The trial was fast. The evidence was undeniable. Daniel was sentenced to life in prison. Sarah, now widowed, carried the guilt of the affair that tore everything apart. Was Daniel a cold-blooded killer? Or was he a man pushed beyond his breaking point? Was Sarah the true villain? Or just another victim of forbidden love? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. If you want more shocking real-life stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because sometimes, the truth is stranger than fiction.